What's up, everybody, and welcome. Whatever. Interesting day today. Microsoft is announcing that Edge is dead, and that Edge is back or alive or whatever. Okay, so this was rumored earlier this week, and it's true. Microsoft is gutting Edge, and what they're doing is they're getting rid of their rendering engine, which is called Edge HTML. That was a derivative of the Trident engine, which was originally called Spartan way back when. Whatever. They were getting rid of all that crap, and they were replacing it with Chromium. Yeah, like this is a pretty big deal. Microsoft is acknowledging that, hey, their browser strategy isn't working. No surprise there. Anybody who's used this stuff knows that while Edge has come a very long way, the matter of the fact is, Chrome is the beast of the market, and Microsoft is not able to catch them. And there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of just things going on, but one of the primary reasons is that because Chrome is the market leader and they have so much market share, one of the problems is Edge was built to run basically standards, web-based standards, which is great. That sounds awesome, right? You have the standard, and Edge was going to be the champion of the standard, and everything was going to be great. The problem is that developers just didn't care. They build so that it renders correctly in Chrome, and that adheres to standards too, but probably not as good as Edge. But the problem is that Edge looked like it was broken. Well, Chrome works fine. Why doesn't Edge work? And so Microsoft was in this never-ending battle of, okay, they update their browser, they update their engine, but then Chrome introduces something new that makes their stuff look bad, so then they have to go chase it. And they're always they're always chasing the car that's in front of them, and they will never be able to catch it. Mostly because you got to consider a couple things here. Google's entire business model is based around a browser. So they are going to devote a significant amount of resources to Chrome to make sure it's awesome, to make sure it's great. Microsoft, on the other hand, they don't make money from Edge. They don't. People are going to write in, well, every time someone searches with Bing, they make money. Well, guess what? This new browser will also have Bing as the default search engine. They'll still make that same money. Edge is not a business entity that produces revenue. It's just a thing that helps Microsoft sell other stuff, kind of, sort of. So anyway, so this is a big deal, and what Microsoft is officially announcing is that Edge is going to be rebuilt. They don't want to call it a new browser, but here's what it is. They're basically taking the blue E in the name and putting it on a Chromium-based version of Edge, and they're going to ship it. And they're going to ship it everywhere, literally. They're going to ship it to Windows 7. They're going to ship it to Windows 8. They're going to ship it on Windows 10. They're going to ship it on Mac OS. It is coming everywhere, and it's going to be very similar to what you see on iOS and Android. It's going to be everywhere, and this is absolutely the right move. Now, Microsoft is only committing to a preview build sometime in early 2019. They are not saying if this is going to be shipping as the default browser in 19H1 and all that other stuff. There's a lot of things we're still kind of figuring out here, but one thing we do know for sure, which is kind of interesting, but it makes sense, I guess. It's not going to be serviced through the store. You're not going to download this through the store. Now, a couple years ago, Microsoft said they would eventually bring Edge to the store. That never materialized, but it's going to be outside the store, which means that it can be updated whenever the hell Microsoft wants, rather than being tied to 2 updates per year, which is one of the Achilles heel of Edge, was that no matter how much they did and how much they tried, it was always tied to a version of Windows, which means that let's just say 1809 has the best version of Edge, which it probably does, ever made, and it's so much better than Chrome. The problem is anybody running 1803, 1709, any other version of Windows 10 isn't getting that browser. It was designed to fail, essentially, because Microsoft assumed that everyone would always be running the latest version of Windows 10, even in the enterprise. And no, that's not the case. We all know that. So this is really good stuff. I know there's going to be people who are upset, and rightfully so, that we're going to a monoculture web where there's primarily only one browser engine, Chromium. I know there's derivatives and all that stuff, but it's all based around the same kind of stuff. Yeah, but I mean, that's the world we're in. And if you're upset by that, then be upset at the developers who only built web pages for Chrome, because that's how we got here. And I think this is the right move for Microsoft, because now what they can focus on is adding value add to the browser. Before, they had to patch and fix and update the engine, and then try to add some sprinkles, some features on that people would love, and then patch and fix, and they were in this race. And now all they have to focus on, if they wanted, would be new features for the end user on top of Chromium. Now granted, Microsoft is fully committed to this open source platform, and they're going to be committing a significant amount to it, and I think it's going to help ramp things up. You know, the smooth scrolling in Edge, I bet we see that coming to Chromium. Now granted, that means Chrome could take advantage of it too, but Microsoft again will win in the long run because of this, hopefully, because their browser should gain market share. Clearly what they were doing now, they decided is not going to work. This is courage in the face of reality, as Satya Nadella would say. This is a good move for Microsoft, and I find it very hard to argue against that for the long term. And so that is what's happening with Edge. This is a big change. Now, for the end user, you may not see much. For the people who don't understand what's going on under the hood, all that's going to change is maybe there's going to be some new UI elements. Granted, they're going to be building this from the ground up again. So the UI will probably be similar, but it may not be the exact same. But the one thing that you'll notice is that everything just kind of works on the web now. You don't have to worry about different stuff. Now, the one thing that Microsoft didn't clarify is what's going to happen with extensions. We hope that you can just take a Chrome extension and just put it into Edge and it works and there's no finagling or anything else, but that is still to be determined at this time. On the flip side, I suspect that if you have an Edge extension, you're not just going to be able to just rip it and put it into Chromium. So keep that in mind. Interesting times ahead for this. Again, I can't stress that I think that this is the right move for Microsoft. It's going to be a net positive. As long as they live up to their promise to make it an awesome based experience, and they actually keep adding features and are truly able to build on top of it, like they say they're going to. It's a new world. It's a new Microsoft, and so the things that were inconceivable in the previous regime very much seem possible now, and I look forward to seeing how this materializes for Microsoft. So with that, folks, that's your brief of what is going on with Edge. And I'm just going to let this video right out to this little memorial.